Greetings, greetings, greetings. What's going on? What's happening? How are you on this Saturday? Have your weekend begin? Is it fun? Are you almost done with those chores? All that running around? Or are you relaxing? What kind of weekend are you having? There are a lot of people that are celebrating birthdays this weekend. And I do have a best friend that today is her birthday and she's out of town. She let me know she made it safely and she's on the move enjoying herself. And also, we have the Canadian Jamaican Queen today. Well, not today, but we're going to celebrate her birthday. If you want the mic, you want to sing, go ahead and sing. It's all good. It's all good. You know how we do it. But thank you so much, everyone. I do appreciate that you have tuned in for another episode of Article Reactions, where you never know what you're going to get. The good, the bad, the ugly. You just never know. But one thing you do know, you will get Ken and Karen. Oh yeah. She's just always up to something, so you're gonna definitely get a Karen. I'll just put it that way. You may not get a Ken, but you definitely would get a Karen. Oh yeah. Now, without further ado, let's get this party started. Because I know there are a lot of Karens, because she's always in action. You never can, you can't fall behind, and we don't want to fall behind too much. We may extend the show, a few minutes to throw in a couple of Karens, and I just went on and said, you know what, I'm gonna let Classic Ruby handle those Karens, because she be having them. I mean, she has a shipload. So I'm like, let her go ahead and release some of that, and then I'll join in every now and again and throw one in there. But she got it covered. Oh yeah. And speaking of covered, I will say this one thing. Have you been to the grocery store in the last 72 hours? And have you noticed the price? Everything, and I do mean everything, has increased like 50 cents. I'm like, what's going on? Before it was a dime here, a dime there. Oh no, now it's 50 cents. And I'm like, that's not fair, and I don't appreciate it. Boo! And not only that, I will say, I got that dreaded letter from Prime. I can get my groceries delivered from Whole Food, no additional cost, and I got that dreadful letter yesterday, and there was a tear in my eye. And I'm like, what? What are you saying? And what they're telling me is, you're going to have to pay a $9.95 fee, lady. You want some groceries? $9.95 extra fee. I'm like, what? But you spoiled me. As soon as I got the hang of it for the past year, stuck in the house and all, trying to stay safe. What have you done to me? What? You want me to pay $9.95 for the same service? Oh. But I do understand. Nothing stays the same. That's one thing we always say. And things, they change. So, yeah. So, I'm like, well, I won't feel so bad in the wintertime if I shell out another $10. But I'm hoping that the delivery people will get their cut, because it wouldn't be fair to them. It would not be fair. All right. So anyway, everyone, you know what to do. And plus, you got to celebrate the girl's birthday, because we won't see her again to maybe possibly Wednesday. Maybe not. I think we may not have a show for Wednesday. I take that back. So we won't see her again until next Friday. So, she'll be a little bit more mature. So you got to get it in now, okay? So may I have a standing ovation, please? Round of applause. Stand up. Here she is. We got to sing to her. Come on, y'all. You know what to do.
Yes. She's a stay down there, girl. Stay down there.
Yes, yes,
Happy,
applause.
happy birthday.
Aw, thank you. And the best part is you didn't actually sing happy birthday, so I could hear the melody. So I mean, it was
Yeah.
beautiful. It was beautiful. You thought about me.
Mm-hmm.
Aw, I feel so special, girl. Thank you. Thank you. My birthday season is kicking off right. All right, then. You got a big smile on my face. Okay. I didn't expect that. That was cool. That was cool. Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Hey, y'all, listen. Because it's my birthday, I figured I'd get a little liberty again with the Kens and Karens of the world. So, yes, I definitely have Kens and Karens to delight
Mm.
y'all. I even have some crossover Karens. We'll see what that means a little bit later. But, oh, yeah, I got some good stuff today. Some good stuff. It's going to be lots of entertainment, as they say. Yeah.
All
Birthday.
right. Looking
That's right. So I think it's going to be a good show. I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my bones as my birthday commemorative show. Right. I
Yeah,
think we can
yeah.
do good things. I see beautiful things in our future. And to be clear, I wish I could say, guys, when I get back here next week, I will be a more mature version of myself. But I discussed it with everyone that knows me, and they said I'm going to be older, but probably not much more mature. Probably not. Like I'm a grown ass child. I'm probably going to stay that way. So we'll see though. We'll see. Maybe 37's a magical year. Like adulting just clicks in, and suddenly you're all wise and mature and balanced. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Cross y'all's fingers. I don't know. Knock on some wood or something. It might happen. Stranger things have happened, right? I don't know.
This is true.
Hmm.
All right. Well, I was telling the crowd about, the prices going up on the food, and then I found out about the delivery for my groceries to the home. I'm like, no.
Hmm.
So I got a little money to give away. I found a little money for folks. So let me
Ooh.
share that with ya.
Yes.
Let's get it right here. Add to stream. All right, and it's working. Good, good, good. All right. BeneFiber. I know you heard of BeneFiber before. Maybe for a parent, grandparent, but you've heard of it before. Trust me. Wink, wink.
Mm.
If you've purchased select BeneFiber original and or BeneFiber healthy shape products between June 19, 2014 and June 8, 2021, you may be eligible to receive a free
Mm.
cash settlement. An estimated $10 per qualifying purchase of BeneFiber original up to 5 units without proof of purchase, and an estimated $12 per qualifying purchase of BeneFiber Healthy Shape up to 5 units without proof of purchase. I hope that was clear enough for you.
Mm.
I'll repeat the word, the most important word for
Yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Without proof of purchase.
Nice. Yeah. My favorite words.
So that could be $50 for everyone. There is the link in the chat room. Make sure you fill that out. Money is running out soon.
Nice.
So, hey, go get your money.
Right. Get it while it's hot, y'all. Get it while it's hot. You,
That's right.
you don't have to tell us nothing though. I'll tell you something. Right? Like in Canada, sometimes I honestly think no black people live here, right? Because you see us so infrequently. Until something is free or on sale. And I guarantee you, you will see a line around the block of black people you've never seen before in your life who apparently live in your neighborhood. They show up though, and we pass along the message, okay? White people don't do the same things that we do, right? They don't pass along that message. They're selfish, right? They want to make sure that it's still going to be there when they get there, so they don't share. We tell everybody. We call aunties, mama, sister, friend, that coworker you don't even like. right? As long as they black folk, we will tell everybody. And then you show up there and there's a line
Mm-hmm.
around the block. You're like, damn it, why'd I tell so many people? Right? Trying to find one face in the crowd you recognize that got there hours before you. So you'd be like, oh girl, hey, thanks for saving my spot. Right? Yeah.
Okay, say it loud enough so everyone can hear.
Exactly, right? Well,
Right.
I got you next time, girl. I got you next time.
That's how we do it. You know it.
Mm-hmm. Well, oh, hey, listen, can't always hook you up. Like when it comes to like my business, for example, right? Like my services are not discountable. And I was always like that. Product services, it is what it is. No, you don't get the sister or the brother hookup. But like I will hook you up as far as letting you know when something else is free or someone else has got a discount going on. I'll help you do that. No problem. Anytime. As soon as I hear about it, even if you're not interested, I'll just be like, hey, I'm not sure if you like this or you're looking into this or you'd be interested, but, and then I send it to like 100 people. Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's your style. All right. All right.
Exactly. That's how I do. All right. Now, first and foremost, it's funny, y'all. I shared this with RBR, right? Uncle RBR, as soon as I saw it, because it just reminds me so much of him, because he talks about the Human Genome Project all the time. All the time. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? You don't even have to watch the man to know that he talks about the Human Genome Project. It's the most important project study in the world that has ever been conducted. And I saw this update and I went, there's an update? I, oh, okay, damn. So I wanted to share it with y'all because, normally when we're talking about science these days, we're normally talking about something to do with COVID. Now, I don't know if people really understood this, right? Back when they kind of said, hey, we're done back in 2000, there was this kind of idea of completeness. We know everything there is to know about the human genome. And so, it's all figured out now.
Hmm.
That wasn't true, guys. It wasn't true. Actually, they had discovered all but 8% of our DNA. So there was 8% of the genome that up until now has been completely foreign. I mean, and some of that has to do with like, for example, like we're trying to find, oh, this disease falls where we don't know where it is, and they're looking and they can't figure out exactly how a disease process happens, or maybe how a syndrome happens, stuff like that. Well, it probably has something to do with that 8% of unexplored DNA that we just didn't understand. And we've had these steps happen several times, right? Now, this is what will happen. They will just say, this is junk. This is just space. This is just filler. Oh, I don't know. It's probably like I don't know, transport for the other important genes. And then they kind of have ignored it. But apparently that's not the case. Now, I would give you guys more detail, but it hasn't been peer reviewed yet. So it's currently under peer review. It's going to be coming out. So keep an eye out for it. We don't know, there's going to be delays because of COVID and whatnot. But I wanted y'all to know we finally actually have 100% of the information to the human genome. So we might find out crazy things, right? So stay tuned.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Stay tuned, everyone.
Stay tuned. I'm telling y'all, you never know what's going to come up in that. For all we know, like things that we just like took for granted or we understand. This is the interesting thing because a lot of times we'll explain something with the knowledge we already have and we'll be totally
Right.
wrong, right? Once we find the real concrete answers, we're like, oh, sorry, my bad, over here in the research scientific world. So I'm really, really interested to see what it really all breaks down to now, right? Like, why are we different even though we're the same? Do you know what I mean? Like that
Right.
sounds weird, but like for example, like black folk, right?
Hmm.
And they've done this countless times, right? When we're talking about bias in testing, like say the SATs or whatever. There's bias that's written in that's not the way you think it is. Like it's about a golf course, kids have never been golfing, how would they know? Or common sense questions that aren't so common sense if you live in a different type of world.
Right.
Um, but some things are written in that shouldn't be common sense. You take two kids who were born in the same neighborhood, had the same education, and you ask them about movement, right? So let's say spinning is to walking as running is to what? And almost all black people are going to get that answer right, and almost all white people are going to get that answer wrong. We
Hmm.
answer questions about movement inherently. It's just something that we just understand inherently. Is that connected to our DNA? Like, I want to see stuff like that. I think that's really cool because it's like it's not about your experience now. It's not about where you were born and raised. It's not about if you're an athlete or not. It's just
Right.
there. Is it in that 8%? Because they don't know where it's coming from. So, like, I'm really excited about this. I know. I'm a science nerd. I'm sorry. I'm a research nerd, but I'm excited.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see what happens. I'm looking forward to it as well.
All right. I'll give you all the update when it comes.
All right. Now, there's kind of no update on this. Um, we've heard about the moratorium ending for the rent, and this was shared with me yesterday. Pelosi bid to stop evictions crumble and setback for Biden. And it says, I had to shrink this thing to get it on the screen because it got all these darn ads. Not enough Democratic votes to give, and I can't see it because it's too small. I have it shrunk. Let me find my original page, see if I can read it. Nope, I can't see it.
Hmm.
Well, anyway, it didn't work. It didn't work out. They waited till the last minute. I don't get it. That was my rant. Why would you wait? I mean, you have a responsibility, and we talked about responsibility yesterday. No one wants it. I'm going to get people to I'm going to hand out responsibility. I'm going to get people to line up, and trust me, I am fair. I'm going to divide it so you everybody get just a little bit. You don't need a lot of it, and you can handle what you need to do. And if you do that, things will be better. But back to my little rant with this. Why would you wait? Now you know the darn thing ends on today. Why would you wait till Friday to say, can we get some votes over here? Can this thing work out? Come on. You know it wasn't going to work out. And I hate that, this continues to keep happening. They act like they're surprised. We're not surprised, so stop playing. But what I did, I put a link in the chat room. If you need some assistance, know anyone that may need assistance, have them to check out the website there. And it doesn't matter what state, they'll link you. You'll be able to link to the city and state that you need to go to. Now, it's not a lot of places are not going to be immediate. So it doesn't mean on Monday your stuff is set out or anything like that. They still have to go through the process. There are a lot of funds that are out there. Why they're being held up, I don't know. That's something that I definitely will keep my eye on, and I will update you guys when I can update you so you'll know what the heck is going on, how you can get some help, or for people that need some help, you can help them.
Hmm. This is, I mean, it's a sad thing, but like you have to be honest. When you live in a capitalist society, this society cares about the corporations above caring about its people.
Yeah.
It's just what it comes down to. And for the majority of people who can and will get evicted, it's because these big buildings and stuff are owned by corporations. These housing settlements, they're owned by corporations, in essence, or they're owned by people who own corporations. And those people say, hey, it's not fair. I didn't make enough money last year. You know, I'm getting penalized by the stock exchange because I didn't make that 15% increase I'm supposed to make. And you know what? I'm tired of it. I don't want to get punished just because of COVID. I don't care about these people, right? Pay me my money, right? And so they don't care that you've made no money, and you know they lost what 1.2 billion out of their 50 billion in profits, right? Like they don't care about you. So like I'm not surprised at all. And you're seeing a lot of decisions being made to benefit ultimately capitalism, to benefit the big corporations, and who cares how it's going to affect the country, right? So it's really sad to see that, there's after they've handled things so poorly in America in so many ways, they've handled it so much more poorly than they have in other countries, like even mine. And then to see that after that, after all this effort that's been made to stop the transmission of COVID and blah 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 blah, you're gonna let a lot of people become homeless. Then what? You don't think that's gonna get COVID passed along for sure in massive numbers? You don't think that it's going to basically be shutting the country down again, like before Christmas? There's going to be total shutdown because the vaccine doesn't stop the transmission of COVID.
Right.
They've never said it did, and anyone who does is lying. It just means that if you catch COVID, you won't die from it if you have the vaccine, but it doesn't stop you from catching it or passing it along. So, yeah, let's just make everyone homeless and then have to group together in giant bunches. That sounds like a great plan. I think that this is going to work out really well for everyone. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, they need to pay us the big bucks.
You would think, right? I mean, God, they can't afford a stimulus check for, how long did y'all go without anything? And then you go with like, oh, here's $1,000, and otherwise, I don't care, right? They can't afford that, but like, they can afford to bail out big business, right? Big corporations. They can afford to. It's crazy. It's just ridiculous. Um, on another note, since we're talking about COVID,
Okay.
and talk about the vaccine and COVID and more stupid corporate decisions or corporate benefit decisions that were made. So, y'all know I take issue with the vaccine, not the concept of vaccination, but rather this particular vaccine and the way they've been handling it. One of the ways that they've been handling it is by mostly ignoring science, research, common sense, as far as saying, hey, listen, well, the tiny bit of testing we did with this vaccine, you have to take it the second dose within 30 days or exactly at this mark, or hey, these are all different formulations. So if you take dose one with Pfizer, you should probably take dose two with Pfizer, right? That makes sense. um, to me, it would be like the equivalent of like starting amoxicillin for your like throat infection for half of it, and then just switching to a completely different, thing like doxycycline for the second half. What? I took 7 days of, something. It doesn't matter. I switched halfway through. What? What do you mean they're different? Um, well, other countries don't have this common sense. They don't really like the fact that America, Canada are ignoring common sense and science. And so people are suffering for these decisions now. So let's take a listen to this story.
Okay.
To the international indecisiveness around vaccines that's hitting very close to home for some.
A Toronto man traveling to Trinidad for his mother's funeral turned away upon arrival. CTV's Sean Lee Thong is live with more. Sean.
Well, Andrea, Nathan, imagine the frustration of having to take a flight while grieving the loss of a family member, arriving in that country only to be turned away because your vaccinations were mixed.
I just want to go home and bury my mother and take care of her final wishes. That's all I want.
Sitting over a table of documents, Alan Preddy does not understand why he was denied entry to Trinidad and Tobago, where he grew up, for his mother's funeral.
This is ridiculous. I'm here for my mom's funeral. I'm actually executor of her estate. And this isn't a vacation. I literally have to be there.
His mother died June 30th. Preddy and his siblings flew down for the funeral last week. They'd all been vaccinated against COVID-19. Each had negative COVID tests and filed their information with the government of Trinidad and Tobago. When they arrived in Trinidad, there was a problem with Preddy's vaccination record.
It was checked with the supervisor, and they found out that because I have a mixed vaccine, I wouldn't be allowed to go there.
Preddy had received a shot of Pfizer in April and Moderna in June.
We got our vaccines based on Health Canada recommendations. We took whatever we can get.
Just yesterday, Federal Health Minister Patty Hajdu said the government is working on a document that would allow Canadians to prove vaccination abroad. On the Health Canada website, they continue to recommend against international travel, and in a statement to CTV, they said, in cases where travel is absolutely necessary, it is important to familiarize yourself with the entry requirements of your destination jurisdiction. According to the government website of Trinidad and Tobago, entry to the country requires a negative PCR test that is no more than 3 days old, and vaccinated visitors do not have to quarantine in a hotel for 2 weeks. Also, vaccines must be World Health Organization approved. While both Pfizer and Moderna are approved, there is no definitive recommendation on mixed doses.
Everybody I spoke to, they can't do anything.
Preddy is not able to wait 2 weeks because of work, and it would cost about $3,000, so he came home to Canada. Now he says he feels stuck as he was very close with his mother.
None of us wanted to be there because it's not home without my mother.
But he is fearful that he won't be able to say goodbye. And at this point, the funeral for Preddy's mother is scheduled to possibly be on Monday. He's fearful that if nothing can happen before then, that he will be forced to miss it. Reporting live, I'm Sean Leathong. Nathan, I'll send it back to you.
And of course, he is going to be forced to miss it because there's nothing that can be done at this point, right? He's already gotten his second dose of the vaccine. I don't know how it works in America, but in Canada, you can't just go get a third dose because you want one, right? You can't. You get two. That's it. And he can't afford the 14 days of quarantine there. They don't want to just, and Trinidad's not going to change their policy and put their people's lives at risk because, Canada and America decided, probably Britain too, I think, just mix and match. It's cool. Decisions that were made largely because of availability and not because of science, not because of the research, not because anything told them that this was a good idea. Just do it first and then we'll just see if it works. That was the attitude. And of course, research is coming out now saying, well, hey, actually, if you used both shots with the same, like if it's Pfizer, then both shots Pfizer or both shots Moderna, you actually get better protection. Shocking. You actually get better viral load 6 months later. Shocking, right? So, there's something to what Trinidad and Tobago are saying. They're not just like ignorant hicks over there who don't understand what's going on. No, they're following the science. And they're saying, no, sorry, I'm not letting you come in and endangering our people. Sorry. Although, and I have to be honest with you, I don't get it. And I'll explain why. I don't get it because, as I just said, having the vaccine does not prevent you from catching or transmitting the virus.
Right.
It doesn't prevent that. So people who are vaccinated, right, they still have to show a negative PCR within 3 days. But it's not like they're going to get to your island and then be less likely to catch or transmit the virus. Like, that's not what happens with the vaccine. In fact, if anything, I'm going to say that people who are vaccinated are more likely to transmit the virus. And that's just because people who are vaccinated are going to be more lax with masks and social distancing and whatever because they are protected, even though them protecting themselves doesn't protect anyone else. So, look, I don't necessarily get the rationale behind the decisions that are being made now with vaccinated people because you can still catch the virus, you can still pass it on, you won't die, but everyone unvaccinated could. So what's the difference? Like, it's weird.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see if this is the same person. Give them a good 60 seconds to say hello. I I don't know. I have a pet peeve about that. All I ask is I say hello. Doesn't take long to say hello back. So let's see what happens. All right. So I'll move on to my next story here, and it's on with the vaccine. And yeah, it's on with the vaccine. So let me see, because I had to. Oh, okay, it's big enough. Louisiana judge offers people on probation to get vaccinated instead of doing community service.
Wow.
What kind of trade off is that?
Wow.
You did the wrong thing, a crime or whatever it is, you broke the law, and I'll trade you some time off of the community service, a little freedom, if you take this vaccine for me. That's all I ask. Would you take it for me? What kind of mess is that?
Wow. I have no words for that one. That's, I mean, hey, it's a good deal for the person on probation. Man, I guess. I'll take the vaccine. I don't have to do nothing. Don't have to pay for my crime. Hey, I,
Man, that's crazy. Thank you, off time, for speaking this time under this account. Thank you. All right. So let me read this. Let me turn on to my page here. Getting vaccinated is a service to the community, said Judge Fred Kryfosky, I guess, Fossey, who serves in Louisiana, which has one of the lowest vaccination rate in the country. Hmm. Now, as a judge, are you really able to do that? I don't know. There's going to be a lot of lawsuits coming up soon, and I'm definitely going to be pulling those and reading them.
Mhm.
Anyway, in Louisiana, which was one of the lowest COVID-19 vaccination rates in the country, one judge is offering defendants the opportunity to forego their community service hours if they get vaccinated. Judge Fred Crafasi of the 19th Judicial District Court in East Baton Rouge stated proposing the trade off this week, the Washington Post reported, as Louisiana became the first state with the most per capita cases in the country. Over the last 2 weeks, COVID 19 cases have jumped by 256% in Louisiana, and the state is averaging around 3,500 new infections a day, according to the New York Times. Meanwhile, just 37% of the residents are vaccinated against the virus. Against the virus. The fifth lowest number in the country. Getting vaccinated is a service to the community, Krafasi said in a statement. So if a so if a probation candidate is inclined to get vaccinated, I will grant credit for that effort toward any requirement of community service. The amount of hours varies and depends on the person's circumstances. I want to know what them circumstances are. I want some examples. I don't want just that depends on a person's circumstances, because how are you trading off vaccination for this? I mean, that's almost like saying, well, if you go and walk my dog for a week, I'll trade you and you'll have to do community service, because that's a beautiful thing to do, is to walk my dog. So I'm just
Mhm.
wondering, how far are you going to go with this? I know you understand you're a judge, but that's a bit much. That
Oh,
is a bit much. I'm
girl,
sorry.
you don't know. I already know how far they're gonna go. See, this is what's happening. To those of y'all in the back, take a seat. I'm gonna help y'all out. Okay, so this is what's happening. A
Hmm.
lot of white conservatives, more importantly, a lot of white Trump supporters were recently arrested for what we now know is, basically an insurgence at the Capitol on January 6th. The majority of those people are going to get off of probation. The majority of those people also really don't like being held accountable for anything, and definitely like when the world allows them basically to, pull a fast one. They love it. And this is why they continue to offer, like, I mean, look at what they did. They did the whole thing with, getting free guns and stuff like that. And, Second Amendment nuts, right? Who are those? The Trump nuts, right? So they're doing the same thing. They're saying, hey, listen, you guys are literally a bane to the existence of America currently, but have I got a deal for y'all? I'm not only going to give y'all probation, but you don't even have to do anything on that probation if you just get the vaccine. That's what they're doing, right? Like that's who it's for. Remember, they said it depends on the person's circumstances,
Right.
right? The circumstances, you have to be white,
Right. I bet you.
conservative. That's it.
Okay. You're right about that one. You're right
But
about that one. I'm about to keep my
circumstance,
eye on this. Trust
right?
me.
You trying to say about circumstances? We all know what that means. That means you can't literally make it for white people only. Like, you can't state that, so you make it circumstantial instead. We're not stupid, but thank you. Thank you for, insulting our intelligence today. That's all it is. And to be fair, I mean, again, I don't understand the total benefit, but
Right.
I don't get it, just because they're not going to start wearing masks. In fact, if anything, them not being vaccinated is just going to empower them to wear masks even less and breathe up in people's faces and just spread this virus even more. So I don't know, but hey, they're trying. I don't know what to give them. They're trying. That's all I got. They're trying.
Dang.
I know.
Shame.
I
Shame. Shame. Shame.
I know. I know. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. So, in other COVID news, right?
Okay.
And y'all will notice I am actually covering quite a few things from Canada today because Canada's giving me news. So,
Okay.
yeah. I got a Canadian cop next. Y'all will see. Okay. Now, you see here, so I'll just read the title really quickly. Why Ontario medical experts are sounding the alarm over Alberta's move. Alberta's in Canada, y'all. It's called a province, to scrap mandatory COVID 19 isolation. Okay. So starting August 16th, people who test positive for the virus won't be required to isolate. Y'all heard me, right?
Huh?
People who test positive for the virus won't be required to isolate in Alberta as of August 16th. Yeah,
Uh,
this is not cleared by medical experts. For the record, this is why it starts off saying medical experts are sounding the alarm.
what
Uh,
the?
Girl, I mean, they are sounding the alarm over Alberta's recent decision to significantly ease its COVID 19 restrictions, warning the move could cause ripple effects across the country and the globe. The thing about this pandemic is that it's global, and that means we are all interconnected, said Dr. Andrew Boozery, Executive Director of Social Medicine at the University Health Network. For policymakers to bury their heads away from the evidence and the science, it is definitely concerning. Yes, it is. Despite a recent rise in infections in Alberta, Dr. Dina Hinshaw, the province's chief medical officer of health, announced a two-phased approach Wednesday to eliminate the few remaining public health orders in the province. So, starting Thursday, close contacts are no longer required to be notified of exposure by contact tracers, nor will they be legally required to isolate, although it's still recommended. I'm going to repeat that. Close contacts are no longer required to be notified of exposure.
Uh-uh.
If they know for sure you have been in direct exposure to COVID, they no longer are required to notify you, so they no longer will. So now you have COVID, but you don't know you do, and you're going to pass it to all of your kids who can't be vaccinated because they're under 12. That's what's happening. Okay, just so we're clear. Further measures will be eliminated August 16th. People who test positive for the virus will not be mandated to isolate at that time. Isolation hotels will also close as quarantine supports end. If isolation hotels close, that means anyone can fly in from anywhere with this virus and infect everybody, and it doesn't matter. There's no isolation. There's no quarantine anymore. They don't care. They are no longer going to be in any way, shape, or form dealing with COVID like it's a worldwide pandemic. In fact, they literally say that they are altering their protocols to be more in line with those of the flu or other communicable diseases. And their reasoning, Hinshaw's reasoning is, with the vaccine readily available, the need for the types of extraordinary restrictions we used in the past has diminished. No, it hasn't. I've repeated it several times.
Uh-huh.
The vaccine does not stop you from catching or transmitting COVID. It just means that if you personally catch it, you are less likely to die. This is what they say. Given that the vaccine doesn't kill you or whatever, then you are less likely to die. But you can still transmit the virus. Children under the age of 12 currently can't take the vaccine. People who have immune issues, who have allergy related issues. In my case, that's my issue. I'm not able to take the vaccine anyway, even if I didn't object, because of allergy issues, right? So you actually have a lot of people in the population currently who can't even take the vaccine.
Right.
And all these people who now feel free to not wear masks and da da da, not social distance and whatever, they're still able to pass along this virus. And now that's going to make it a million times worse because now people who have COVID are proven to have it don't have to isolate in any way. They don't have to. They can just wander around and just cough on everyone. It's going to be great. Um, Now, this change comes as Alberta is reporting some of its highest COVID-19 case counts the province has seen in weeks. The rate of infection has also continued to climb to points not seen throughout the pandemic. The province says 54.7% of Albertans are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19. So they're relying on, well, people are vaccinated now, but only like 50% of the provinces. But okay, cool. While 64.3% have now received at least one dose. So that's still only two thirds. Like, it's not, like, if they were like at the 80% mark, well, I think now they said it has to be 90% because of Delta. But if they were at least at the 80% mark where you're like, oh, okay, we're about to reach herd immunity, blah, 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 I could kind of understand. But like, I don't, because again,
Mm-hmm.
the vaccine does not prevent anyone from catching this disease or transmitting it. So there is no herd immunity. Like, I don't. This is not a herd immunity thing. It's not like the polio vaccine, where as long as 80% of the population is vaccinated, 80% of people can't catch this. Therefore, they can't transmit it. So the other 20% are protected. That's how herd immunity works. This is not herd immunity. Like, this is weird. And it's dangerous because, again, Delta variant. When I sent you guys, or when I told you guys about the story of the confirmed double vaccinated person who died of the Delta variant, that was in Canada, on that side of the country. So, what are they doing? What are they doing? And the thing is, right? Of course, they're being, and I'm just thinking this, right? I might be wrong. I might be wrong. I'm going to be honest, but I feel like they're being heavily influenced by America. Yeah, I'm blaming y'all. I am 100% blaming America for this, right? And the reason why I'm blaming America is just because up until now we haven't seen this level of like illogical nonsense from Canada. We just haven't. Now, Boozery says there's a compound of factors pointing against Alberta's recent move, including the fact that schools reopen in just over a month, and that it seems as though the province has fallen into the false choice of public health versus economy. What did I tell you guys? This is all about money. This is all
Mm-hmm.
about the corporations. That's it. That's it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your health. Nobody cares about your life. Nobody cares about your well being. And if you're going to rely on the government to do that, everyone's going to die. Just so we're all clear. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask, but I decided to ask the guy here off time since he put in here that children are not affected by the virus. And I'm like, I have a question about that because I know children have a hard time when it comes down to ear infections, and they haven't been here that long. So how is their immune system stronger for a virus that is supposed to be a very tough flu virus? They get the flu. We got what, children Tylenol and all these different medicines for the kids that have the flu. So I'm like, well, why wouldn't they be affected? So that is my question.
Oh,
And
yeah.
let's see.
They are absolutely affected. Like, and don't get it twisted. It is true, right, that the people who were the worst affected by the first strain of COVID, right, were the elderly, right? They were like the worst off. People over 50 were the worst off. But it didn't mean that we didn't have cases of people under 40 getting COVID and dying, including children. But with the Delta variant is gunning for the kids and gunning for the young adults. Like it's coming for the young ones. And they are at seriously increased risk by the other variants as well. So, the death rate is currently for children. Let me see. We're reading this in Canada, 1 per 10,000 infected, which, okay, it's not like a super massive case, that I understand, but 1 in 10,000. Are you okay with your kid being the 1 in 10,000?
Yeah, so that's what I always had to question on. And I'm like, that doesn't add up. But what I wanted to say too, I try to listen and think at the same time. Sometimes it's a little tough. I'm like, okay, what she say? And remember what I was gonna say. But I think I got most of the question right. So what you were saying is, or what you were reading more so, is the vaccine does not protect you from the virus or spreading the virus.
Right.
And my question is, why don't they write it that way?
Because then
Just
people
write it
won't
that way.
then people won't take the vaccine, which is why I look at the vaccine like a shady, right? Because if you think about it, right, how are you going to sell this vaccine if it's like, well, you get the vaccine, we're not vaccinating any kids under 12, but you're still basically going to be able to infect your kids. Like, that's a harder sell than, guys, get the vaccine, be protected, protect your kids, protect everyone by getting the vaccine. And now that you've had the vaccine and everyone's really tired of social distancing and masks, get the vaccine, take off your mask, right? That's so it's an easier sell to let
Hmm.
people think that the word vaccine means cure or prevention,
Uh-huh.
right? I find it so strange that they are, and I mean, honestly, I commented so fervently about it on a couple of TYT news broadcasts where the way that they were phrasing it, I didn't like it. I'm like, you guys are being misleading. It's like lies of omission. You aren't being honest about the fact that getting this vaccine does not protect you from getting the virus or from passing it on to your kids or anyone around you. Like it just prevents you from dying as easily from it. Although again, not so much when it comes to the other variants, right? But I mean, and then they mentioned it in their very next like episodes. A couple episodes later, they did something on COVID, and then they made sure to be clear about it. So it's like, okay, good.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, they really
crazy,
trying to get you to take it. It's something else that got you twerking and all kind of stuff, rapping, everything just to get people to take it, and it's a hot mess.
right? Lotteries, raffles, like I'm
Right.
sorry. Again, it just seems so shady. It
It
really does.
is.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
It's extra shady.
Hmm.
All right. I wanted to bring this up, and then I'm gonna go to something else as well.
Hmm.
I mentioned last week, it was like my first time really out and about for a while. And when I went downtown, and I was already surprised at a lot of the stores that had the leasing label in the window, but also I didn't see any cabs, or I didn't see many cabs. So I'm like, this is really odd. You don't go downtown, and especially on Michigan Avenue, and be able to cross the street against the light. That's one thing. And then to not see a taxi or a cab every four vehicles. You just don't see that. So it wasn't my imagination. And someone had written an article here, and they said, why you can't get a ride in Chicago. Drivers of cabs and Ubers alike aren't returning to the road as fast as customers, and that's making for long waits and higher prices. As Chicagoans return to offices, restaurants, and airports, some have griped of trouble hailing once ambiguous. How you pronounce this? Ubiquitous. I think it is. Once ubiquitous cabs downtown, as well as wait times and higher prices for rideshare service. In part, the trouble reflects a mismatch demand. Drivers aren't returning as fast as customers. The city's Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection estimates that there were 27,000 active ride hailing drivers on the road at the end of April 2021, down 60% from April 2019. There are now 1,000 active cabbies, a decrease of 82% from 2019. And I'm like, out of that 1,000, I might have seen five of them. That's it. I think the other 900 something is spread around the city of Chicago, because there were no cabs. It
Hmm.
was incredible, and it felt odd. And that was because when you see the dominant society walking around, and they look in the street and stuff, and they're not looking for a bus. You're like, wait a minute, I know what they're looking for. They're looking for something that isn't there. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's right. I haven't seen any cabs. Where the cabs at? I
Hmm.
don't know. And it was like a few days later, I ran into this article. I'm like, uh-huh.
Well, I didn't even know they still had cabs. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought they were just gone because of Uber mostly. I literally thought that there were no cabs. And that now that you mention that, I'm like, well, I guess there would be. I guess there are people of a certain age who just, they wouldn't be taking a cab necessarily or whatever. So okay, but I didn't think about that. I was just like, I just assumed everyone takes Uber. So like, why would they need cabs anymore? It's
uh-uh.
crazy. I know it's terrible. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I mean, I will say this: they probably are less likely to be driving around, and instead, like, you got to call a company for them to come out because of so many young people who are, I think, the more impulsive ones. They don't really plan their lives in advance and whatever. And the majority of young people these days are going to be using Uber unless their phone died. Like,
Yeah, the younger generation, they are using Uber and Lyft a lot more.
mhm,
The cabs out there are for people that just happen to need to go from office A to office B to this meeting to that meeting in a restaurant or something like that. So yeah, they aren't planned. That's correct.
exactly. So I have a feeling instead of wasting gas, maybe even time, they kind of just go and they sit, like, at the head office, meeting place, whatever, and they wait until they get a call or they wait till they're dispatched, right? Because they're probably more so serving I wouldn't even say over 50. I'd say they're probably more so serving the over like 60 crap. who arrange everything and call in advance. Okay, I need a cab to be here in 45 minutes. Meanwhile, we're like, oh God, I got to be there in 20 minutes. I'll call an Uber now, right? Like we're a little more impulsive down here. So I think that's probably what it is. But it would be smart. It would be smart to be driving around at least because there are people who last second like, okay, I need a cab now, or my car broke down, I need a cab, or whatever it is, my Uber's not coming. If they see a cab, they would just jump into it and cancel the Uber, right? So, hmm, interesting.
Yeah. Let me share this with you too. Then you'll do the next story.
Hmm.
This is I found very interesting and some BS at that as well.
Hmm.
All right, let me make sure it's sharing. There it goes. And play.
Major retailer to make a drastic change. New at 6, we've learned Target is cutting its hours at its stores in San Francisco after a spike in thefts. The new policy covers all stores in the city. Closing time now 6 p.m. in an effort to curb losses.
To curb losses, you have 5 stores that you're going to have closed at the same time. You need more people because I don't believe you. I do not believe you. If we're stealing, we can steal between your hours of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Hmm.
So let's see what else.
KPIX5's Andrea Borba is live with the retailer's decision and reaction from shoppers. Andrea?
Well, Elizabeth, it is now 6 p.m. here in the city and county of San Francisco, and if you were hoping to make a Target run, it is now too late, according to the hours recently set by Target in an attempt to curb rampant shoplifting. Your Target run now has an early curfew in San Francisco, 6 p.m. Thanks to a spate of retail thefts, 6 stores across the city are closing their doors to shoppers at least 3 hours earlier than normal.
I'll be curious to see if other stores do that as well.
The hour change was confirmed by Target to KPIX5 via email. For more than a month, we've been experiencing a significant and alarming rise in theft and security incidents at our San Francisco stores, similar to reports from other retailers in the area. It comes after brazen incidents of shoplifting across the city have gone viral. Rachel Michelin is the president of the California Retailers Association.
I wasn't surprised because we've seen other retailers close in San Francisco. I'm actually proud of the fact that they're trying to hold on and keep the stores open.
Michelin says San Francisco is the 5th worst city in the nation for retail theft, with Los Angeles taking the #1 spot.
I guess you have to do what you have to do, and if that's what they just think's the best option, then so be it.
She says these shoplifters aren't working alone, but are often juveniles and homeless people tapped by organized crime to do the dirty work.
There comes a point, which is what we have shared with the elected leaders of the city, where these types of decisions have to be made. And really, the bottom line is when these employees do not feel safe coming to work, that's when they have to take these drastic measures.
We asked Mayor London Breed about Target's move Thursday.
I think part of it is a combination of us working together and them having the right security and the right staffing in order to make sure there's a better customer experience. Cutting hours is not a solution.
Breed says enforcement has to be addressed.
So the question is, will this person be held accountable for what they did? And that needs to be a part of the equation as well.
Andrea, are these early store closures permanent?
Well, in a statement to KPIX5, Target called them temporary, though did not say when the early store closures might end. Elizabeth?
They want to see the conditions improve before they make that decision. All right, Andrea, thank you.
Thank you, Audrey. I don't believe them. I don't believe them. Now, why wouldn't you get your security together? Check your receipt on the way out. There's so many different ways. And even they have a, what is that called? They have different departments that handle security. Now, when they use the word loss, And I'm going to use that word loss because only loss that's going on is profits. That's the only loss they got going on.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to say that. They blame it on the people. It's your fault. You stole that iPod or whatever, that iPhone, and we had our back turned and we ain't had no security at the door because he was talking to that girl over in aisle 3 and blah 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 or whatever. But all the stores, I could see one particular store, but all of them, all 5 of the stores,
Mm-hmm.
nope, nope, nope. And I'm interested to see some more information on this because it'll come out, whatever it be, this stock, something. It'll come out soon. We'll hear
Mm-hmm.
more about it.
Yeah, the primary reason why that doesn't make sense is, having worked retail for, a good chunk of change back in my days, um, the most theft that you receive is actually around lunchtime, and it's by, housewives with strollers. Like those were the people who were more likely to steal, and that was the time people were more likely to steal during. Interestingly enough, you would think, right, logic might dictate to you, like, oh, well, when we're super busy and the kids can come out, they don't have money for stuff, so they're more likely to steal. No, they're not. The housewives are. People with strollers, the people who can only come out in the middle of the day. So, in essence, this doesn't seem like it would really be a solution for loss prevention. If anything, it would be a
Right.
solution to like make sure that you're only open during the hours of theft and you miss all of the big traffic times where you would be bringing in a lot more money. And if anything, it would be the time of day that if you did whatever little theft does occur between 6 and 9 p.m. would be offset by how much more money you make between 6 and 9 p.m. versus how much money you make the whole rest of the day. So it's weird. And then people are going back to work now, right? So, like, you're going to start closing at 6 p.m., but people aren't going to be available to shop before 6 p.m. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, nothing
Yeah.
about this logic makes sense. There's something, like you said, there's something else going on for sure.
Yeah.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Well, I'm so like, I gotta hold myself back because there's stories I wanted to cover today, but then I'm also like, low key reading the chat, and I'm like, oh yeah, nothing happened on January 6th, huh? We're just gonna pretend none of that happened. The cops and who came in and testified about the atrocities that happened to them, many of which that were actually on body cam and or filmed by other people. So, it's verified that they were physically assaulted. It's verified the terrible things that were said in their earshot to them. But nothing really happened on January 6th. So it's cool. But you know what? I've covered a lot of that before. You know what? I will cover it later, like another day. I'll cover it on another day. So please come back, okay? And I will do a deep dive just for you. Um, Instead, now, because it's my birthday, I was like, I'm avoiding mostly, anything too serious or whatever. But I do want to talk about this one story with the cops. And the reason why I want to talk about this story is it's such a travesty. And if we don't understand at this point that there is a massive issue with the police, um, I don't know how. I mean, just even when they talk about, oh, the training needs to be there's mostly good apples out there and whatever. It doesn't make sense given what we're seeing. It doesn't. It almost seems like their entire training, if they've even had training at some points, because sometimes we're talking about cops who've only been on the job for 6 months, but it seems like all of their training is see black people, stop black people, think the worst of black people, treat black people however you want. I'm sorry, but that's what it seems like to me. And now it's spilling over to everyone else. But like that's really what it seems like. Um, and just like the woman who's recently kicked in the face, now you have this guy who's being pistol whipped by a cop. Now, For the conservative in the audience, I'm sure you think, oh, well, if you commit a crime, then he didn't commit a crime. So let's take a look at the body cam footage and then talk a little bit more about this. I think I shared the audio. If I didn't, let me know.
Okay.
Body camera video shows Officer John Hobart ordering Kyle Vinson to lie face down and show his hands.
Hands all the way out. I can't breathe, dude.
The officer hits Vinson at least 7 times with his pistol and later holds him by the neck for almost 40 seconds. Vinson's father says he was shocked by what he saw.
I thought he was going to die.
Aurora Police Chief Vanessa Wilson said she is disgusted.
This is not police work. This is not the Aurora Police Department. This was criminal.
There have been several other high-profile police-involved incidents in Aurora.
We'll give that a couple minutes.
In 2019, 23-year-old Elijah McLean died after police put him in a neck hold and paramedics injected him with ketamine. Since becoming chief, Wilson has terminated 14 officers for misconduct. Officer Hubbard now faces multiple felony charges for his treatment of Kyle Vinson, including second-degree assault and attempted first-degree assault. Jeff Begay, CBS News, Washington.
Now, I wanted to bring up that story for a reason.
Wow.
And the reason why I want to bring up that story is because this kid is the only kid who didn't run.
Yeah.
Only kid who didn't run. I want y'all to think about that. People go, well, why would you run from the cops? Right? Then, of course, they're going to shoot you in the back. Because of this. Because this is what happens when they stay. And he didn't commit a crime. He didn't do anything wrong. No charges were laid. He literally, he was just sitting down, like when they say, like, I need to control the scene, everyone sit. He was sitting on a rock. When the other kids took off, he didn't move.
Right.
And that's how you treat someone who's being compliant, who willingly didn't move and just stayed still. It's not like he caught him trying to run. He was sitting. And this is in the same place. Remember, we just talked about this a couple weeks ago. This is in the same place that the whole family, including a 6-year-old child, were forced to lie on hot asphalt, faces pressed into the asphalt with a gun trained on them because a cop mistook a minivan from state A for what should have been a motorcycle from a completely different state. And the same state where that cop that I'm talking about, right? The same place that cop is now going to be running for public office.
Right.
And it's possible, right? So you're like, oh, well, 14 cops have been dismissed. Do you understand how pervasive this issue is and how the good apples thing kind of fails when there's so many cops that have to be dismissed in such a short period of time since she's been elected, and to the point where, hey, you know what? This cop, this crooked cop, this terrible cop who would treat small children like that and make such an erroneous mistake could run for public office. And now, hey, cops are pistol whipping kids who are compliant, who are listening. Like, yeah. But why do they run? No idea. No idea.
Lord have mercy.
Right?
Ooh, it just makes me angry every time.
Mm-hmm.
Every time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, y'all have to, like, I wanted to just do a little quick clip. Y'all had to see. This kid was like, what did I do? What? Hands up. Hands are up. All right. Lie down. I'm lying down. Nothing he did was good enough. This cop was going to take out his frustration and aggression that the other kids ran away on him. And that was it. And that was okay.
Right. Just grab his arm, put him in handcuffs. That's it. You're going to hit him in his head?
Right. And then his hands are covered in blood. His mouth is filling with blood. Everything's filling with blood. And he's saying, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. Then
now, what's with the choking?
Right.
You think that's your whatever you do in bed? That ain't what this is. You at work. The heck wrong with these people?
Right. You tell me what part of their training could have been confused with wrapping your hands around someone's neck? Oh, none? No? Oh. Around an innocent kid's neck while he tells you he can't breathe. And this kid was really calm at the beginning, and you hear the part in the video where his voice starts to catch, and now because now he's terrified. He's like, I'm gonna be another hashtag. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die because instead of running with those kids, I stayed. I'm gonna die because I was obeying the law. That's why I'm gonna die. I did nothing wrong. That's crazy. Just crazy.
Boy, boy, boy.
Hmm.
Well, I'm ready for some Ken and Karen. I didn't had enough. I don't want to see nothing else.
Hmm.
That just did it for me right there. I can't.
I know.
I
I know.
really can't. I really get upset about that because it just I just hate to see our men in these situations and they can't do anything. They're jumped
Hmm.
by these race soldiers. Race! I said it, RAC!
Yeah.
Soldiers. I hope you
Yeah.
heard that clear. Let me type it in the chat room for you too. How about that?
Hmm.
But here we go, everybody. I know you're ready. At least I am for Ken and Karen.
Speed away coronavirus. You are Karen.
Whoop whoop.
Karen segment. Y'all know this is my favorite time of day.
All right.
All right, well, you know what, guys? I think we should start with an update, Karen. Yeah, that's right. We have an update, Karen. Because normally, if Karen is going to be Karen 1, she's going to do it again. It's just, it's who she is, right? Like, in case you thought we were like, oh, it's unfair. You catch these women, it's a one off day. It's not who she is. Okay. Well, let's see. That's who she is. Y'all remember this Karen? This is the Karen that tried to lure someone's dog into the middle of the road so it would get run over and killed. It's that Karen. Yeah. Well, Karen doesn't like Asian people or their dogs because apparently she just can't leave them alone. So let's see what Karen does with round 2. Yeah, I know, right?
Don't yell at me.
I will yell at you.
Keep walking.
What, are you crazy?
Oh my
There's
God,
no
where'd it go?
dog on the grass.
Oh my gosh.
Keep filming. We can be here all day.
Okay,
You're
here.
overreacting,
I like got
Karen.
My
small.
dog is not on a leash. And, oh, you can't read English, apparently. Let's go read
Why?
some
Because I'm
signs.
Asian? Are you
No, you
racist?
can't read English.
Are you
Let's go read
racist?
some
Are you
signs.
fucking racist?
Oh, apparently you don't have to do anything that Americans have to do. Okay, so you can't read.
Why don't you go yell at other
And
people
you
that
know
have
what?
dogs on the
I
grass?
can't understand a word you say. You're not speaking English? Because
Oh.
apparently you don't know that you have to have a leash on your dog.
Really?
Wow. You racist.
Seem to be speaking English pretty clearly.
They
I
always
want you
go
guys
there.
to be beginning properly.
They always go there.
Right? She's speaking English very clearly, right?
Karen. Oh boy. You know.
Oh.
You know, this what she does.
Turner! Really?
Yeah. Then she'll understand. Oh, that was English. Oh, okay, my bad.
I don't know. I heard English. I'm just saying. I heard English very clearly. Did you hear English, Char?
That's what I heard.
Right? Isn't it something how they can literally say things like that? Like, really? You can just say as many racist things as you want, and you don't think that you're wrong. But here's the thing. Now, y'all might think to yourselves, right? Y'all might think, this is what I love. Now, I told y'all I'm going to bring y'all crossover Karen, okay? Crossover Karen is very important to understanding the psychology of Karen. And the reason why I say she's important, well, you'll find out after the video. You'll realize. I don't want to spoil the surprise.
Okay.
I really don't. I'm hoping nothing. I think I got the title cut off so y'all can't see it. So here we go. Yeah, you can see it. All right. Now, get ready for crossover Karen, y'all. Okay.
Pay for this cart, and I don't like people wrecking it.
We're not wrecking it. There's literally so many berries everywhere.
Oh my God, we're not wrecking it! Oh, there's so many berries!
We're quick. You want to come up to two young girls? Getting
Young
mad at them
girls,
for
yeah,
picking
young
berries.
girls. You're old.
6 years old.
Because we want to take some berries.
How is that? Eat all the berries you want. Just don't take the bush with you.
I'm
It's not the
sorry,
bush.
is
It's
it
literally
affecting
it's a
you
tiny
personally?
branch of berries.
Why don't you mind your own business? Why don't you mind your own business?
You know, that is the fucking rudest thing you've said to me.
You decided
Go
to come
back
up
where
to
you
us.
came from if you want to use language like that.
Oh, why don't you go back to where you came from, you fucking colonizer?
Are you First Nations?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't call me a colonizer.
You're a colonizer. You're
Where did you
European,
come from?
Yeah, where did you come from?
Where did you come from? I'm actually curious. Where did you
U.S.
U.S.?
Oh,
Yeah.
so you're not
so
even
you're
from
not
here.
Canadian either.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, so but we are Canadian too. I was born here.
I was born here too.
Okay.
Were you born here?
No.
Okay, so actually, like, I was born here, and you're not even born
My
here, and you're
grandparents
telling me to
Doesn't
go back
matter,
to
you're
wherever.
telling us to go
Your
back to-
grandparents weren't either. That's the thing. Were your grandparents born here? No.
Look, she's smiling. She wants to
I
see a reaction
know.
out of us.
This is so
Yeah,
hilarious.
I am getting a reaction out of you too, aren't I?
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
my
You're not
God.
Start with the are you a Trump supporter thing? Like that has any.
Because you're just acting like it. Like you're just acting like a very uneducated person right now.
Oh, I'm acting like an uneducated.
Yeah, like just why don't you just mind your own business? Like if you want to eat our
Because I just
berries
said
and
I
pick
don't
the
live
branches.
in my
Okay, you're
business.
still
When I
standing
see
here.
people
Like I just.
vandalizing public
Oh my
property,
god, this is not public property. It's
Oh
literally
my
nature.
God, this is
Like
what's
we're in
going on.
nature. This is so funny.
No, you're not gonna take a picture of.
I'm not taking a
Oh,
picture
girl,
of you.
I
Walk
already got it.
away.
You've been on video the whole time. What are you talking about?
Okay, we're just trying to look the map,
You know what a
honestly.
good answer would have been? Okay, we won't do it next time.
No,
Okay,
it's
no,
just ignore
but we
your
will do it
business.
next
It's
time,
none
though.
of
They're
your
just
business.
berries, like we
None of
will.
your business whatsoever.
I really don't like the none of your business.
It is none of your business.
Yeah,
You're
like it
walking
genuinely
with two
isn't.
police
Wait,
officers.
y'all.
Yeah,
Are you catching this? Because maybe you didn't catch it earlier. When she said, that is the rudest thing you have ever said to me, anyone's ever said to me, was it's none of your business. That's why she's upset.
Yeah.
Like, and then she went back to it. So it's like a minute and a half later, she went back to, I can't believe you told me it's none of my business. Wait, what? That's what you're upset. They've cussed. They've called you a colonizer. The thing that upsets you the most is you had the nerve to tell Karen it was none of her business. Everything is her business. Don't you know that? And she's Karen. Okay, let's specialize 10 seconds.
Telling us to go back to our country. You're actually insane. Telling us to go back to our country. Whoa.
No, I didn't mean that.
Oh, you
Oh,
didn't
so
mean it.
I just say it.
Let's go.
Jesus.
Now, y'all now understand why I called her crossover Karen. Karen was born in the U.S. She's from the U.S. Now, maybe she's visiting Canada. Maybe she's relocated and she lives here now. But the point is, she was born and raised in the U.S. It's not like she was born and raised in Canada and her family and her grandparents and her great grandparents, so she feels like she has some claim to this land.
You know, it's so interesting how Karen always tell you to go back. I mean, that's always the response, that's the answer, that's the solution to the problem. You just go back. But she never offers you a plane ticket.
Yeah.
At least give you a plane ticket.
At least, at the very least, you would think, right? Be considerate. But in this case, this woman says they need to go back where they came from, but they were born here, so they came from here. She was not even born here. She was raised here. She has no claim to this country, but she thinks, as Karen, she has the right to dictate who should be from and who should leave a country she was not born and raised in. I don't know if she's a citizen or not now at this point. Maybe she is, or maybe she has dual citizenship or something. Maybe she's just a landed immigrant. I don't know. But either way, she's an immigrant in this country. 100%. Like, being called an immigrant is not based on your race, right? It's not. Like, it's based on it if you immigrated to somewhere after you were born or not, Karen, right? Just because you're white and other people here are white doesn't mean now, oh, well, I might as well be Canadian because I'm white, they're white, we're all white. That's not how it works. Like, it's just something else. Oh, I love that one. That was great. All right, y'all. Now, up next, we have our can of the evening. Okay.
Oh.
Now, Here's the thing. I understand, y'all. People are hungry these days, right? I don't know. I don't know if y'all have ever been in a situation, I know I have, where I was pretty broke. And at that time, man, if I got like $2, I could get like a couple junior whoppers, you know what I mean? Or a couple little burgers from the kids menu at McDonald's. So you hungry. And then you
Yeah.
finally get there and you gotta wait in this long line. And like you're miserable. You're hangry, right? You're hangry.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand, Ken's original hangriness. I understand a little bit.
Okay.
But as is usual with Ken and Karen, they always go too far. So let's see what happens with this scenario with our favorite Ken. Oh, I hate when this happens. Every time that we're on the stream, then it doesn't open all the way. But when I'm by myself, it's opening just fine. It's fine. Okay, we'll just watch it. Oh, why is it doing the thing? Oh, you'll be able to see anyway. This is a good one.
I just waiting for my food. No, you don't get no food. If you're gonna make like this, look at all how fast the cars are going through, and then look how long I waited. Okay, you can suck my dick, and then we'll talk later. I paid for food, and I paid for food. I paid for food, yeah?
Oh, that's Ken. Yeah.
Oh.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Dumb fucks. Don't tell me to fucking get me out of here. I fucking get for food, you stupid fucks. Hey!
What the?
Yeah. Yeah. So that happened. Yep. That was. I feel like it was a little bit of an overreaction.
Yeah. He used a lot of energy that he didn't have, being all hungry and everything. But um, you need to get your information and charge you for all of that. And I feel like I shouldn't come to work because I feel stressed. I need some compensation.
You would think, right? I mean, like, but that was something. Like, you know what? I gotta give Ken his due for at least being thorough, right? I mean, if you're gonna mess people's stuff up, at least be thorough with it, right? Like, it's just. I don't know, man. Like, that was some next level. That was some next level stuff. Thank you for that one, Ken. Guys, this is how you deal with McDonald's when they tell you need to leave, or you're frustrated because you had to wait too long. Yeah. So, like, because we've seen them mess around with stuff before, Shar, but I don't think we've ever seen them quite to that level of outright destruction.
Yeah, he went down the line and wow.
Exactly. It was something else. Now, guys, I gotta say this one thing before we talk about this next Karen.
Hmm.
In this case, Karen's coming for a Muslim woman. We don't know her race, right? So she could be a black Muslim or a white Muslim or whatever Muslim. We don't know. We just know that she's a Muslim, so she's wearing the hijab. And I'm just going to say this. I think it would be absolutely lovely if we saw more of us do this for us. And when I say this, well, y'all will see what the crowd does in response to this, Karen. But I would just like to see us give a little bit more support, a little bit more support when, because we'll watch and like if the worst case, I guess we might say something. But a lot of times you don't really see people stepping in. She can handle it. He can handle it. And we just let it happen. Like, why aren't we stepping up and being and telling Karen like, nah, you need to stop. So let's take a look at this. You'll see what I mean.
Okay.
Son,
Because this one is fucking
but
crazy.
if she actually, no, she's not. When you just told her to go back to your country, how does that make sense? Mama, she does. Why is she so mad at me?
That's a fuck. But just told her not. No, she's not. You told her to go back.
Oh, and in case you missed it up here, so there are these words are kind of describing what happened, right? And so basically, Karen didn't feel like waiting. The cashier clearly knew that the woman in the hijab was there first, and Karen decided to step in front of her and just start putting her
Oh.
stuff on the conveyor belt.
Whoa.
Right?
Really?
Yeah. And and meanwhile the lady, she's just looking for and then, the cashier asked that, she's like, no, I was here first and whatever. And that's why this fight ensues. Like, Karen is a very entitled woman. She doesn't have to wait, right? Like,
Right.
who are you to tell her she needs to wait in line behind anybody, right? She's got things to do. The rest of y'all, you're at her beck and call. Okay, let's keep watching.
Country. What are you talking about? Because she's coming first like a fucking handcuff, whatever that thing is. And hey, you don't gotta talk like that though. She's not telling you. I know. She didn't tell you anything.
If you missed that, she's privileged because she wears a head covering. And that's why it is that Karen can't butt in line in front of her, because of her privilege. Not like because that's how lines work or anything. No, because some special privilege assigned to Muslim women. Okay.
She said stay away from her son. That's all she said. She's asking you to give her son. Well, you know what? You're not telling anybody else. So get over yourself. No, the whole point is that you have to be 6 feet away. And then you want to be fucking racist. Stop. You're just being fucking crazy. No, we're not. No, you're being the crazy one right here.
Don't talk to her like that. Yeah, don't be talking to her like that.
Yeah, you know what? You go get over yourself.
Yeah, don't be talking to her like that.
She's a fucking.
You're
being crazy.
Can I ask you? Excuse me. Can I ask you why you hate me? Just because I'm wearing a headscarf?
That's what you wanted, huh?
What else do I need to do? I mean, I'm not doing anything wrong here.
No. I'm actually.
I'm not doing anything wrong here. It's just a fucking little listener who thinks she's fucking privileged. No, everyone's fucking privileged. Why the fuck I talk to her like that, though?
I don't know why you hate me. I didn't do anything to you.
Anything at all. Like anything.
I'm trying to protect the female.
But do you hear what she's saying? She's being racist. She's being racist.
I'm not going to say anything. You're basically profiling them. You're basically profiling.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm okay.
Now, like I said, I love the fact everyone stood up for her and everything. I wish I saw more videos like that for us with us. Do you know what I mean? Like, where is that support? I've seen this happen to countless Black women. Countless. And what I don't see is a crowd of 50 people stand up to defend her, right? She's normally defending herself. Or even Black men, like when remember that crazy guy was bouncing around the Walmart or whatever and throwing fake jabs. And it's not because we can't take care of ourselves or whatever, but like, why aren't we equally outraged when it's happening to us? And I say we, I'm talking about us in our community, because that Black woman and several Black women stood up for her. I'm hoping she's Black, because then that would make all the difference in the world, right? But why aren't we super outraged whenever it's happening to us? When we see someone who looks like us, who we know is from down the block, and it's happening to us, why aren't we saying, hey, excuse me, you can't talk to another Black woman that way. You can't talk to a Black man that way. Excuse me. No. Right? No, I'm sorry, but it's not going to fly. Like, I would just like to see that more. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with you. She didn't sound like she was Black, so more likely she wasn't. So.
Thanks. That's the thing, right? I mean, and you can't go by that. I understand. She didn't sound Black to me. That's what it is. So.
Yeah, because I don't know, that woman was a little bit too much when it came down to her appearance. She was just too upset about it. That's what I'm like, no, this woman has a hatred. There's something going on there. So that's why I was saying I don't think the woman had the appearance of Black.
No. No, I
Even
think it
though
was
she didn't sound that way, but I don't think she was.
exactly to me. She's like a brown woman. I don't know from
Yeah.
where exactly because she had that little hint of an accent too that reminds me of all those brown girls that went to my school that I was friends with, like Saba and them. I don't know where Saba was from, but she was a brown girl, right? Pretty brown girl with a little bubbly personality, and they have that tiny, slight underlying accent you hear. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I love Karens with cars. We only got through like half of them last time. I got more. Um, Now this one, it's over a parking spot. Okay, I love the twist with this one. I want y'all to just really take it in. Don't just listen to this one. I want y'all to look at it because you have to understand the twist later. Okay, let's see how Karen deals with a parking spot dispute because she's Karen. She deserves to deal with everything poorly.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Right? I mean, obviously, she's Karen. Okay.
I let that man leave, man. You got that man blocked in over there. Look, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Man, you have more important things to worry about. Like, man, you have more important things to worry about. You have to get you a neck, man. You have to go get you a neck. You have no neck, man. You got to go get you a neck. You out here being racist. You don't even have a neck, man. You got to get you a
You
neck.
don't even have a
You hear me?
neck, ma'am.
Man,
Why you gonna
man.
say ma'am?
I know what they said next. You go on Amazon right now. They got nicks for $27. You get you a whole nick. You just put it on your shoulders.
$27.
Put it on your shoulders, and you good, man. Okay? Uh-oh, it's about to get real. It's about to get real. It is about to get real. And man, with some shoes like this, this is not what you want. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. They about to tussle. They about to tussle. There she go. She called her fat. I know you ain't going. Uh-oh. There they go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, forget this now. Forget
There you
this,
go. That's
right?
how you stand up for our brothers and sisters. Man, you gotta go get you a nick now. Go get you a nick. Just go on Amazon, man. Get you a nick. That's what I'm talking about. Look at her. Now she ain't got nothing to do.
Oh
Man.
wait, hold on. So I want y'all to check something out. So the reason why Karen is mad is because Buddy, she said, was parked too close to her. But who's the one who's parked over the line? Karen is parked over the line. This is her car. This is her car. He just parked in the spot. He had lots of room between his car and here. She's parked on the line and she is mad that he parked properly within the lines right here. That's why she was holding up his life. Guys, I'm serious. That's why she was holding up his life. She wasn't holding up his life because he cussed her, because he shouldn't have been parked there. No, it was because how dare you park like that close to my car and prevent me from being able to get into my car on account of the fact that I am overweight and so therefore I can't fit between a space that close. That's what the issue was, guys.
Okay.
I guys, Karen is like she's unbelievable. Like the Karen is undefeated, y'all. Like that's it. Like she's next level. She will always be next level. Okay. Um I mean, what else can you say about our favorite Karens except they're next level? Now, our next
Yeah.
Karen okay, food. Sean's giving us a little leeway. This will give you your last Karens because I love this channel, Karens in the Wild, right? They always give us a bonus Karen. I don't know what the bonus Karen is, y'all. I don't. But the Karen, this is Karen on a bus, right? So you would think, hey, listen, we could just avoid a lot of problems with Karens. Karens just decided to drive. or not drive, right? Just take a bus instead. Take public transportation at least, right? Then you don't have to worry about you can't fit into spaces and you can't this and you can't that, right? No, Karen would totally behave herself on public transportation, wouldn't she?
No.
You know what? That's probably a safe bet, but let's check it out.
All
Okay.
right.
And then we will watch the bonus. Okay. Damn. Woo! He's very lucky.
You lucky fucking day. Fucking real fucking lucky. Hey, fuck up.
Man, that man ain't even looking over. He's so embarrassed and ashamed, but there's nothing he can do. Like that's his woman or his wife or whatever, right? All he can do is just keep holding her, just hoping that maybe if he's looking out the window, she'll look out the window too, and it'll stop. Just stop. And he's trying to anchor her to her seat. And that's all he can do. He's not even looking over. He's not looking at the camera. He's not looking over at the woman. He's not looking at his wife. He's looking out the window and just locked on her so she can't get up and make things worse. Okay. Poor thing.
Right. You can hold me back from this cunt for only so long. But I'm gonna get you, motherfucker.
Oh God, she's gonna get you. I
Uh-oh.
believe her. I believe her. She can't stop.
Motherfucker, what? What, the happy cat, are ya? Come on. I'm more than willing to have a go.
See, he still ain't turned his head over once. Nope, not his problem.
You're lucky I've got an appointment, mate. Don't get your fucking ass soon as you get off this bus.
She just can't stop herself.
Fuck you think you are talking to people like that? Don't stir me up, man. I'll go fucking crazy, man.
I believe her.
Crazy till you see me.
Yeah, absolutely, I believe her. I do.
Hey, I'm gonna wait for you, motherfucker.
Are ya?
Don't worry about me, mate. I can stand on my own 2 feet.
Can you now?
Fucking try me out, hey.
Whoa!
I'll fucking get you off this bus and I'll smash the fuck out of you. Thank you, bus driver. Fuck out. Yeah, camera me.
Oh Lord Jesus! I thought she could stay on her feet. Oh God. Oh God. Dude.
Poor baby.
Man, see, now that's what happens when Karen privilege meets alcohol.
Right.
Right? It's like you should never let Karen drink.
She said, I'll get you up when I get up.
I just love the fact that she goes, "Don't you worry about me, mate. I can stay on my feet, on my own 2 feet." And then, cause after she fell once, right? And then she gets off the bus and then immediately falls again.
As soon as I straighten myself out, I'll get you, mate.
right? I get you, mate. Like, oh God, oh, okay. That was, and guys, again, in case you didn't know, Karens are a worldwide phenomenon. That one was clearly from Australia, right? It's clearly okay. Now, y'all, I don't know what the bonus is about at all. I don't. I can't tell you anything. No preamble. So let's just see it because it's going to be hilarious because it's Karen. Okay.
All right.
You don't even like it? You're stupid at it. Yeah. Wow, you stupid me, man.
Oh.
Oh, no. You motherfucker! You don't fucking hit my husband! He's old! He's 70 years old! You stupid bitch! What are you doing? Come on. No! Well, why the fuck did they do that? Wait! I got this all.
Delete it. Damn. I don't even know what happened there. Guys, I can't even translate that one. Like I don't know. Just, damn.
And somebody face, and down they went.
Right? And I mean, yeah, on one side I kind of agree with her, like, well, the man's like 70 something, he can't do nothing to you. What are you doing?
Right,
But
he
then
was
on,
showing off for his wife, saying, "Hey, baby, I take up for you. I don't care about these youngins."
right, exactly, right? But then, oh, I had one more Karen tab open. Can we do it? Because it's Karen and
Sure.
Cars still. And it was like I finally found all of the Karen and Cars tabs. So so I was like, yeah, okay. Now, the thing that I think is so interesting about that, though, right, is I don't think that man. I mean, he wasn't freaking out, yelling, screaming. You know, he threw his one punch and he was done. So I kind of feel like, was it necessary? Like, what happened exactly before that? We didn't get to really hear the words or like what was the problem or the scenario. I don't know, man. But like that man was old, and she was old too. Like
Yeah.
old and entitled. Now, in case y'all were thinking to yourselves, of course, well, I thought Karens grow out of it. Karen doesn't grow out of it. That's a secret. Yeah, no, they don't get older and wiser like everyone else. They don't. So, a long time ago, I had asked y'all, what kind of Karens do you want to see today and whatever. And we got to car Karens. And I didn't end up showing you all the car Karens because we picked something else that day and then I couldn't find it. And okay, listen. So you're getting all the car Karens today. That's what it is. Now, this Karen, this is an older Karen. And well, let's just see how she deals with problems in cars. This is why I'm telling you there's an issue, right? Because if we can't let them on the bus, we can't let them drive, we can't let them in Ubers, right? Like, how is Karen supposed to get around in the world? Like, she's just, there's not a reasonable answer to this. I don't know. So
It's not.
there's just not. Karen should stay home. That's what should happen. Okay. So let's take a look at this slightly older Karen in a parking spot dispute. Okay. And by slightly, she's much older. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Hey! Yeah, no, she's gonna run you over. She doesn't care. She's parking there.
Oh.
She just ran into them slowly, but she was parking there. That was it.
You got your phone? Okay.
Yeah.
Nancy?
What in the world?
Nancy, you okay?
No, she's obviously not okay. Like,
You wouldn't move out of the way. I got up there and she just stood there, looking at me. So what was I supposed to do?
Is this the car?
not run her over.
I've been sitting here forever, and they're just like looking at the boxes.
There's a whole parking lot here.
Right.
I got halfway pulled in. I wasn't going to try and back up and go somewhere else.
You're going to have to just wait until the police come.
Send them into Pet Value.
They're coming. They're going to come and see you here.
Give me a smoke.
Right. No,
Nancy,
Karen's
are
got
you okay?
things to do.
Of course she's okay. You think I would have heard it or I would have had a bump?
Yo, she's done this
then
before,
my
y'all.
husband
Okay.
was picking up my car with what looks to be.
I was trying to get you to stop.
Oh, the car was off when he was doing it.
You can't just hit people with
No.
a car.
And the car was off when he was hitting it.
You're nuts, lady.
I know you
Okay.
are.
On the phone with the police.
Okay.
You got our license plate, guys?
What's her license? You have it written? I can't write. I'm blind.
I have a lady that was hit in the.
Can you imagine, y'all? Yo, she's so entitled to what happened, though. Like, she doesn't care at all. Like,
Yeah, took a smoke and said, "Hey, just go in the store. Shoot, I'll be in there." I'm
right?
busy.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to wait till the police come. Yeah, they can go and see me in Pet Value. That's where I'll be. I'm not running. I don't move very fast. I'm old. Right? Right? Just like, dude, there's a whole parking lot. That's not even like the front spot. Like, you could have parked somewhere even closer to the store. Like, you could have done something else. I was already halfway in. I'm not gonna pull out. Like, I'm like 80 years old. I don't have time for that foolishness. They could stand on a sidewalk where they should be standing. This spot is for cars, not for people. Like, she didn't care.
Dang. She had the whole line together.
I gotta say, I'm a little bit a fan of that Karen, though. Like, I wish she was my friend, because that is hilarious. Like, her reaction is just gold.
Well, she stood on her disrespect. What can you say?
That's what it is, right? No whining and crying afterwards. No racist or insulting comments. Yo, it is what they should have been standing there. They saw I was halfway pulled in. They wouldn't move. Oh, of course she's fine. You know, if I wanted to hurt her, I would have went faster so there'd be a bump. What? I just wanted her to not be in the space anymore. I just nudged her gently with my car.
What I'm supposed to do? Back up? No.
What do you think this is? Back up and find another spot? That's crazy talk. Like, that was amazing. I don't know. Like, I really wish she was my best friend. I would have tons of fun with her. Okay. See, I told you. Now that y'all have to you have to admit the car Karens were definitely worth the wait.
Yes.
I don't know what this car Karen's gonna do. I honestly don't remember. I'm sure I saw it before. I don't remember. Let's see what she does though to round off our lovely Karens.
Okay.
You know that you're on the wrong side.
Get out of my car.
You're on the wrong side of the road.
Okay, you're being filmed.
Do you know that you're on the wrong? You're on the wrong side of the road. You're on the wrong side of the road.
Dang.
This is not Europe. You drive on the right side.
Get out of my face, please.
The cops are coming.
Great, get out of my face.
You're on the wrong side of the road. Do you know that you're on the wrong side of the road?
Shoot,
Do you know that you're on the wrong side of the road?
Please back away from
Why
my car.
are you on this side of the road?
Can you please back away from my car?
Why are you on this side of the road?
I was backing.
You're gonna get a ticket.
Okay,
for driving on the
great.
wrong side
I
of
was
the road.
backing out of this space.
You're on the wrong side of the road.
How do you want?
You're on the wrong side of the road.
Okay, okay,
You cannot drive on this side of the road.
okay.
Why are you laughing?
Don't touch my my. Oh. Yeah.
Did you get that too? Did you get that too? Yeah. All right, guys. Now I'm not sure what the problem was with the last one. I think he might have been on the wrong side of the road, but I'm not sure. Right? Like, it wasn't super clear what the issue was. He might have been on the wrong side of the road. I don't know.
Yeah, but dang. She opened a man's car and got in his face. Did you know you were on the wrong side of the road 10 times?
Right? I can't even imagine having the unmitigated gall to walk up to someone's driver door and open it to talk to them. Like, even the police don't do that. They ask you to roll down your window. You know what I mean? Like, why do you think you're entitled to open my door? Why do you think that? Like, I don't understand.
She said, I'm used to this.
Right? Oh, man. Yeah, she does it all the time. Everyone in the world is her child. She can chastise everybody. That's just what it is. How dare you? How dare you drive on the wrong side of the road? It's the wrong side of the road. I don't know.
Dantizi, for you, have the hijabs twerking for you. This isn't the one that was on, I think, DeAndre's channel, because he had showed something some time ago. But still the same. Can't play the music part, but the booty will be clapping. So here you go.
Oh, damn. Booty, 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 rocking everywhere. Booty, 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 rocking everywhere. Booty, 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 rocking everywhere. Rocking everywhere. Rocking everywhere.
Yeah, they got plenty of practice. They
hmm
they be checking out social media. I want to be like that. How they doing in America?
Damn. And they letting that be on camera. All right.
Hmm.
You better cover your whole face because I don't think that's going to fly with your family. But all right. Y'all do you. Mhm.
She said, check this one out, y'all.
Right? Damn.
Yeah,
Damn. It's like a wallet's work.
yeah. So there you go. I don't know what religion that is. I've been questioning that for a while, but okay.
Listen, today I was watching Couples Court, and Little Mo was on there with her current husband, right? Little Mo the rapper who walks around. You can always see her hair in her head and everything, and her blue hair and whatever. And she was like, "Yeah, we're Muslims." So I'm like, "You're Muslim? Okay." I thought there was a whole thing, namely the hijab at the very least, that goes with being Muslim. But apparently, it's these days there's a new school of Muslim where everything is optional. You can basically read the Quran and live like Christians who basically are religious on Sundays,
Hmm.
and the rest of the week they just do whatever the hell they want. And then on Sunday they go to church to apologize. So at least if they die between Sunday and, like, next Friday when they go out, their souls are saved. I don't know, like.
Yeah, I don't know. I always, question. I'm like, I don't know who this Allah is, because the ones that worship the Allahs that from years ago, those people were serious. So I don't know. Maybe it's a new kind. I don't know. I can't say.
Girl, come on, infidels and whatnot, like they still do that in a lot of those countries over there, where they look at America like we are so corrupted and we're so this and we're so that, and women here would never do that.
Oh.
Okay, because the religion says so. Well, apparently doesn't say it strongly enough, because those girls were definitely twerking. That's all I'm saying.
Hmm.
Hmm
Why do you think dancing isn't allowed? Twerking, I know they what does they call it? I would have to look into that's funny. I would have to look into what they call it, but they are not for American ways. They do not play.
No, it's not edifying. Basically, if you think about it, right, the way that, and this is why the hijab and the different clothings and whatever exist, including like to the point where you're covering your whole entire face, because if you as a woman are dressing yourself in a way that a man can look at you and feel sexual feelings, a man that's not your husband, right, then you are basically like a vessel of sin and you are inviting sin. You're inviting sinful thoughts. And so you're not supposed to do that, right? Like you're supposed to, in essence, be covering your beauty and saving it only for your husband. So in the same way that you would be covering up, your parts and whatnot, and your hair, and in some cases lips, eyes, whatever, it depends. You definitely should not be moving in an incredibly suggestive sexualized way. If anything, that would be worse than you just showing your hair, honestly. Because of, I mean, you think about it, if just looking at your shoulders or your cleavage is inviting sin, and whatever sinful thoughts and sinful minds and whatever, and you being a vessel for it, then what is you winding up and twerking up while bent over? What is that inviting? Right? Like it's no, no.
Yeah, I was trying to find quickly the what they call it for their beliefs, but maybe I would research that because I never researched it. Like I said, I would see something and I just question it to myself and keep it moving. because I wasn't interested in the religion, but I would have to look that up.
Well,
But
yeah, and to be clear, because, um, Bond said that this is a group of women. It is, but they're outside in public. So just like, yeah, women can show each other their hair and whatever, but not in public because now you're outside. It means anyone can walk in, right? That's why, like, they're allowed to be in groups with each other and do things and whatever. But A, they're outside in public, and B, they're videotaping it and then putting it on the internet. So the argument of this is a group of girls is now moot for those two reasons. No, it wouldn't fly.
yeah, and I never I never really paid attention, I'll put it that way, when it came down to Louis Farrakhan and the booklets, because the booklets, they used to pass them out. They used to try to sell them, and then now they just kind of give them away. But they didn't play when it came down to women. I learned that.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as giving you the scripture, I can't give you that because I have no idea. I just know they don't play when it comes down to religion.
Mm-hmm.
And they're women. You are
Yes.
special and some other things, but you can look it up. I'll try to look it up if I get some time to do so. But yeah.
It's in the Bible too, to be clear, right? Like my mom, when she was being a pious Christian, like she wouldn't even show her shoulders in public. It's very sexy, it's sexually suggestive. It's actually in the Bible. We just don't practice it. So they practice it to a far larger extent, where they're very like every single word in the Quran matters, right? And it's about, sometimes it really is just about the appearance of things, the or the possibility of things. It doesn't matter what your intention was. If something you do can make you appear as though you are a bad actor, or someone else seeing you, it can make them think impure thoughts, then you're at fault for eliciting that, right? Like you're like a vessel of evil. Like basically you're the serpent with the apple. So as a woman, you're doing a lot of things to not invite the thoughts and appearance of evil and sin. And that's not me just like making it up. That's actually because I did have Muslim friends growing up, especially. And so, we would all talk about these things and ask these questions and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of the girls, especially growing up here, like they wanted to rebel in a way, and they would, but at school, right? And then before they went home, hair would go back in the ponytail, the hijab would go back on, the clothes would change, everything would change, right? And their whole mannerisms would change. And when they were around their parents and stuff, they wouldn't, then you can't look at men in the eye. There's a whole bunch of things, depending on how pious your family is, and how devoted they are. But yeah, it's a really big deal in comparison. Like you don't see as many pious Christians as you see pious Muslims.
Probably can, because I don't really have a large audience, but if you have someone, and especially ask a man, he gonna tell you. Ask him about their religion, because I couldn't tell you. Ruby has her experience. I have none, only from what some couple of movies, and like I said, I had some questions to myself, and that was it. But I'm going to. They don't start a fire. How you doing, Launcher? I am going to sing, and I would like you all to sing again. Happy birthday. Well, I said hello. I don't have to type it in there. So we're going to play Happy Birthday again to Ruby. And it is Monday. Is that correct?
Yes, Monday, August 2nd.
All right. So think about her on Monday. And we'll close out with singing Happy Birthday to her.
Yay!
Stay down there.